During the war, I was not in Malta. I was in Haifa, so I didn't see much of the war. I've seen a little bit of air raids, of course, but that was nothing. Once there was an aeroplane, he dropped papers, oh, a lot of papers. And then the next day or a couple of days after, he came and threw little bombs. And one bomb came on the money exchange. And I told my mate, I said, let's go, it's on the money exchange. And we went there, we find the coppers there. And he sent us to the shelter. Well, that's all I can tell you. Then after 19, I don't know exactly the date, they sent us back to Malta again in the armament depot.
Australia is introducing a citizenship test. It's a way of making sure that people becoming citizens know about Australia and understand the responsibilities and privileges of committing to our way of life.
We come on the boat, and we had 35 days on the boat from Malta to Australia, and we've been here 57 years, and we enjoy Australia. We always, my husband, he work over here, and the life over here is better from my country, and the kids, they grow up, they start to get married one after the other, and now we got big family.
A fair go. Preparing for the test will also introduce people to our history, traditions, and some of our national customs and symbols. The test questions are based on this book, which also explains a citizen's responsibilities and privileges. Understanding our values will help people take part in Australian life, make a contribution, and become part of our diverse community.
We got some grandchildren, and we got some grandchildren. I remember about Malta, huh? It's nice for holidays. And we didn't be good in Malta because when you got children, it's a bit hard to live over there. Things go up, prices go up, and it's not much money.
Things many of us take for granted, like democracy, mutual respect, and equality of opportunity, and the values we share, like free speech and a fair go. Preparing for the test will also introduce people to our history, traditions, and some of our national customs and symbols. The test questions are based on this book, which also explains a citizen's responsibilities and privileges.
I think a lot of people misunderstand the purpose of the citizenship test. Obviously it's a test for citizenship, not for residency. Anyone can live in Australia, but I think if you want to become an Australian citizen, what you're saying is you want to identify as Australian. I am Australian. And I think that title has got certain privileges with it, especially when you talk about some other, like...
According to Becoming an Australian Citizen information book, Australia values equality under the law. Really? So how is it that we still have 58 federal laws that deny same-sex couples equal financial and work-related entitlements?
I go to the South Sydney Junior years, and I played bingo over there, and I played now poker's machine too. And we go for a day, you know, to go one day out. And we go for a walk on the beach, and we're walking around, you know, with too many people over there, and we had a good time down there.
parts of other cultures which just don't fit with the Australian way of life. I mean, for example, treatment of women in other cultures. I don't think that a lot of the values that those cultures have are acceptable in Australian society. And I think if you want to keep on with those kinds of activities and treating people that way, you don't have the right to say that you're Australian. I'm not saying you can't live here. I mean, as a democratic society, you can say, well, I don't agree with that. But I think there's a certain point to which it stops being giving your opinion and it's harmful for others. That happens with a lot of different cultures, I think. And I think the majority is, it's not the problem with the Europeans. I mean, Western societies, any democratic society, are going to come to Australia with a certain kind of attitude that is acceptable here. I think we've got to look at some of these more, I don't know how to put it, traditional cultures or, well, I'll say backwards cultures.
And according to the booklet, Australia values peacefulness. Surely, this is at odds with signing on to $40 billion worth of warfighting hardware and sending Australian troops to a bloody war in Iraq, which has claimed more than 600,000 lives. And if you tune into Question Time in Parliament, you might question how well Mr Howard and others put the peacefulness value into action.
In terms of the way the world is heading. I mean, we're a global community, and obviously some countries' attitudes don't fit in with that global attitude. I mean, that's why they created the United Nations, is to protect the, human rights of people worldwide. And that's the same thing with the Citizenship Test. I mean, we're saying you can live here, no problem, but you still need to abide by our laws whether you're a citizen or not. But if you pledge to become a citizen, not only are you saying, oh, I'll live by your laws, but you're saying, yeah, I agree with why these laws were written, and I agree that everybody should strive to meet them.
And lastly, the book says that Australia values tolerance. The Prime Minister clearly hasn't thought about this, because if he did, he would surely not make people take a stupid test in order to become citizens.
You can find out more about the new Australian Citizenship Test at australia.gov.au. Citizenship, your commitment to Australia.
Then after a year or so, they want people to come to Australia. So I signed to go to Australia with the family. And me, my wife and 4 kids, we went to Australia. And from now on, from that day till now, I'm still in Australia. I'm a little bit sick, all right, but I'm still all right, I think.